Hello again and welcome to Pearl Magazine. In 1951, Sha Tau Kok town in the Northern New Territories was designated as part of the Frontier Closed Area to stop illegal activities at the border between Hong Kong and China. Since then, the town has been accessible only to those with a closed area permit. Since mid-2022, the government has gradually opened up the restricted town in phases to facilitate the development of the northern metropolis. This year, visitors are allowed to venture into the mysterious town. However, it's not yet fully open. Alice Kahn went to the border town to check out how the opening up may impact the economy and people's livelihoods. Sha Tau Kok town has been off limits to outsiders for 70 years.
Since 1951, it seems the clock just stopped.
A total of 400 hectares of land falls into the Frontier Closed Area. The government has gradually opened the restricted area to tourists.
I like it because it's like a traditional town, and to me it's special to other towns.
However, the restricted town is not fully open.
I can't enter it because I don't have a permit. This is part of Hong Kong.
The fish lantern dance is part of the intangible culture of the Sha Tau Kok Frontier Closed Area. These dancers are celebrating the second phase of the opening up of the town to visitors.
喺新一期嘅開放計劃之下，全年365日申請禁區證。我好高興見到好多個區裏邊嘅街坊都歡迎呢個計劃，為沙頭角帶嚟活力同埋動力，亦都帶旺咗區裏邊嘅經濟。
On the 1st of January, the government further opened up the town to facilitate tourism development and the Northern Metropolis Development Strategy. People can now access the entire town with the exception of Chung Ying Street. The first phase was launched in mid-2022, but tour groups could only visit the town's 280-meter-long pier, the longest pier in Hong Kong. Under the latest phase, visitors still need to apply for a tourism permit, which police officers check for upon arrival. Today, over 39,500 individual tourists and more than 28,510 people have joined tour groups to visit the town. Today, this family has joined a tour to explore the restricted town.
聽到禁區呢兩個字就已經好神秘啦。我哋聽沙頭角呢個名咧就聽得好多啦，但係一次都未嚟過。咁難得可以申請呢個禁區紙入到嚟喎，所以就一家人入嚟玩下、睇下、參觀下啦。
唔開放，好似唔知裏邊有幾多人住又唔知啦，裏邊有冇鋪頭賣嘢啊，或者有冇銀行啊嗰啲乜都唔知。我覺得都似傳統嗰啲圍村其實都同香港嗰啲鄉郊嗰啲村差唔多咯。 咁呢度都風景都幾靚，係啊，有個海邊啊，咁都幾舒服咯嚇。
I like it because it's like a traditional town, and to me it's special to other towns.
In Chinese, Sha Tau Kok literally means Cape of Beach or sand. It is located at the northernmost part of Hong Kong, bordering Shenzhen. Since 1951, Sha Tau Kok has been designated as part of the Frontier Closed Area to stop illegal immigrants and illegal activities and spies at the border between Hong Kong and China during the colonial era. So the town has been sealed off from the rest of the territory for 70 years. Only residents with closed area permits can access the restricted town. In the 1980s, the government began town planning here to make Sha Tau Kok self-sufficient. The Housing Society then built public housing units for residents.
Sha Tau Kok has basic amenities. For example, supermarkets, post office, fire station, and also Hong Kong's longest pier. It has 2 primary schools. It offers all basic facilities for residents. However, the problem is that it is part of the frontier closed area, which means relatives and friends can't come in.
Non-residents are required to have a local resident apply for a guarantee from the police so they can visit the town. Chung Yuk-on is a village chief in Moi Tzu Lam. He was born and raised in Sha Tau Kok. He went to the city to study and work. He found neighboring Shenzhen was robust after the economic reform adopted in the mainland. 20 years ago, Chung and other rural committee members fought for the opening up of the town.
Since 1951, it seems the clock just stopped. Everything stays pretty much unchanged. But the residents moved out. No one moved in. If a place has no development and it is closed, of course, young people would just leave.
Currently, about 3,000 residents, mostly elderly, are living here. As the town has seemingly been frozen in time, some significant historical features can still be seen here.
You can still see the Royal Crown sign. When I was very young, coming to the town centre with my father, I already saw this post office.
How old is this post office?
At least over 60 years. Almost 100 years. This post office is still in service.
Charles Lee is a tour guide living in Sha Tau Kok. In the past, he only organized tours to nearby islands. Now, Charles adds the town to his itinerary. He also helps other tour agencies, so he has more business. Since January, 150 people have joined his tour of Sha Tau Kok. He even opened a story house to tell the town's history.
What do these military barrack and military stuff tell us?
We want to tell people that Sha Tau Kok border town is a very unique place. Political tension was very high. Back in 1967, a riot and shootings took place here.
Charles took us to explore the town. First stop is San Lao Street.
A long time ago, ancestral shrines were built along San Lao Street. It was a seashore. Before 1997, this is a bustling street. Hawkers sold goods on the walkway. There were some licensed stores. The structure of the stores are still here. Nearby villagers brought their produce and seafood here. Also, some shops sold expensive daily goods, gold jewelry, watches.
These Grade 2 historic, 2-story shop houses lining San Lao Street were built on an unbroken terrace in 1933 to 1934.
Charles, this arcade is very long.
Right. This is Hong Kong's biggest veranda-type shop house built on San Lao Street. It's a row of 22 shop houses which has the same layout. So you can see it has a very long covered walkway which sheltered from strong sun and rain.
How come these shops were closed?
Because Sha Tau Kok was closed for decades. It was very difficult to run any business. No tourists, no customers, so no business.
Next stop is the famous Chungying Street. The street is on the border between Hong Kong and Shenzhen, within Sha Tau Kok restricted town. The name is a mark of history of the Second Convention of Peking, a treaty in which the Qing dynasty was forced to lease the new territories to Britain in 1898. Only Sha Tau Kok residents with a permit can go in and out of the street.
How can we tell where is the mainland side and Hong Kong side?
A simple way is that the site where you can find 6-story buildings is Shenzhen. On Hong Kong side, no building is higher than 6 stories.
Chungying Street is 250 meters long. The boundary is marked by 8 stones.
That boundary of stones symbolizes one street, 2 systems, or one street, 2 jurisdictions.
My restaurant is also an attraction because it overlooks Chungying Street. The stone stands in the middle as the boundary. Mainland is on the right, Hong Kong is on the left.
Choi owns a restaurant next to the Chungying Street checkpoint. Tourists flood into his restaurant to take pictures of the street. His business was bad when the town was not yet open. Now 80% of his customers are tourists. He says it is a windfall for him.
Our business grew 80–90%. We are full house at lunchtime after opening up the town. Before, it was not full on the ground floor.
Shu Gore hired 2 more chefs and a waiter to cater to increasing business. This morning, the chefs are busy preparing delicacies for 200 tourists. Shu Gore has to set tables on the balcony to accommodate the customers.
This used to be a storage area. I have to remove everything, clean it up for customers. In the past, the second floor was closed. We were only open on the first floor. Now we open first and second floor and even balcony because we don't have enough tables for customers. The capacity of the restaurant is 160 people. Now it can accommodate 200 people after adding tables in the balcony.
He says the table turnover is 2 times during weekdays and 4 times on weekends at lunchtime. But he doesn't have tourists for dinner because visitors must leave the town at 9 p.m. He worries the influx of tourists won't be sustained in the future, so he adds specialty delicacies in his menu to attract more tourists.
I'll offer Hakka dishes, specialty dishes. Then the customers will promote my restaurant.
He says small caterers also offer new items to draw tourists.
They also say, luckily, we have tourists, we have business. Otherwise, they won't have business.
When we come back, what life is like living in Sha Tau Kok. Stay with us. Welcome back to Pearl Magazine. As Sha Tau Kok prepares for the opening of its restricted zone and plans for the expected economic impact, some people have already started moving in. Alice Kahn finds out what it's like to live in this quiet village and what the locals are looking for in terms of the town's future economic activities. Si Kayan is a musician and nature lover from the city. About 1.5 years ago, she got a permit to work in Sha Tau Kok town doing cultural projects. Si rented a 600-square-foot flat at $6,000 a month. As a tenant, she will get a residency permit, which allows her to go in and out of Sha Tau Kok without a visitor's permit.
The price is relatively low compared to the urban area or even in the new territories. And the efficiency of this space is really good. And the environment is quiet, but you have everything you need in the town. And the scenery here is ever-changing.
She anticipated a gradual opening up of the town, so she decided to tap into the tourism industry by promoting culture. In January, when the second phase of the opening up of Sha Tau Kok started, she set up a pop-up bookstore at this old rice mill.
Seems like in Sha Tau Kok there is no bookstore. Maybe we can open a small one here. We would like to build a platform to show things that from nearby village like Jiwo.
In an effort to encourage tourists to stay longer in the bookstore, she has set up an exhibition that tells the tale of the old mill.
Well, this is the literary record, right? Then what do they sell?
Mainly they sell rice and some daily goods like oil or soy sauce or whatever. So the shop owner, they actually had to go out to import all these goods to Sha Tau Kok, and villagers from nearby area, they came here to buy their needs. So you could see all the names, of those villages.
She says over 100 tourists visit the bookstore on weekdays and 200 come in on the weekends.
People actually came here to buy books. They buy stuff like postcards and also those food products like local farm products. They enjoy quite a lot. People actually buy like cosmetic products, like dried food.
But the average spend is only $50, too low to cover her costs.
We do have some business every day when we open, but it's not a lot. And I would say most of them, they just come in and have a look and go.
We play jumping, rope skipping, those games we don't need to spend money.
50-year-old Chung Wai-yip was born and raised in Sha Tau Kok town. Chung is the third generation of the family running a Chinese medicine shop in San Lao Street. With the town closed to outsiders for 70 years, his family has had a little business.
Now I don't have retail business at all. I mainly trade ginseng and dry seafood to retailers in mainland shopping malls.
Once visitors could enter the town, he had made plans to start a guided tour business targeting individual travelers.
Those who have never been to Sha Tau Kok think it is mysterious, so they would come to visit. I plan to make some chrysanthemum tea to those who would join the guided tours. On the first day of the opening up of the town, I did offer the free drink to lure visitors to join my tour. They all said it tastes good.
But there just weren't enough people to join the tour, so he had to shelve the plan. He says most visitors join package tours, which offer all-inclusive services like lunch and transport. And individual travelers don't want to spend money just on a guided tour, so he couldn't sell his products.
Probably after years of COVID, people's consumption patterns have changed. Since January 1st until now, I haven't sold a single one.
Chung Wai-yip said only restaurants benefited from the scheme.
Caterers have benefited the most. I hope the government help us to change our business model, whether it is small caterer, large-scale seafood store, or to turn the streets into a seafood street. Visitors go to Lau Fau Shan or Sai Kung for seafood during the weekends. We have a sea, outlying islands. This could be an attraction.
Currently, his shop has 3 floors. His family used to live upstairs. Now it is used for storage. He suggests the government relax regulations on restaurant license rules to allow shops to convert to seafood restaurants. This afternoon, we visited this market selling souvenirs.
Because it is open for tourists, they also sell rice crackers. Some tourists will buy some, but it's virtually empty, insufficient business.
In 2012, the Hong Kong government started reducing the size of the closed area from 2,800 hectares to 400 hectares. Yet Sha Tau Kok Town and Chung Ying Street are still sealed off. A lot of buildings here are old and flat prices are low. Charles Lee moved to Sha Tau Kok Town back in 2011. He bought a flat with a rooftop in this building for $900,000. It has a sea view and overlooks the town and Shenzhen.
At that time, in the urban area, a flat like this could fetch over 10 million.
Charles and his wife set up an estate agency in the town. He says the gradual opening up of Sha Tau Kok could support residential prices here.
In 2012, the government started to open up some parts of Sha Tau Kok closed area. The policy raised residential prices. Now my flat's value has jumped from less than $1 million to 4 or 5 million.
Currently, prices of the tenement buildings range from $5,000 to $7,000 per square feet. There are only 2 modern private buildings built along the waterfront. This 6-story tall Marin Point apartment building was built by a property developer 4 years ago. It offers 261 units. Flat sizes range from 277 to 636 square feet. Currently, the developer is selling 100 units, ranging from $9,000 to over $12,000 per square foot, depending on the view.
There is a limitation. It's only sold to local residents. But people can rent an older flat first. Then, they can get residency permit to purchase these flats.
Charles showed us this 467 square foot flat. The price is about $5.7 million. The balcony overlooks the pier and mountain.
We can see the mountain, sea, and actually further, the far away, you can see Patsin Range.
The 67 square foot bedroom also has a panoramic sea view. Now the developer is asking for $12,300 per square foot.
A flat with this kind of sea view, the price of those sea view flats in the urban area is double of that. Sha Tau Kok is expected to further open up. It will bring a lot of economic activities and outsiders will move in. And they will tend to choose newer flats.
Next, Charles showed us a two-bedroom flat, this 593 square foot unit on the top floor. The living room has large windows overlooking the Sha Tau Kok Sea. The developer is now asking for about $10 million.
In the urban area, if you have such a nice sea view, you can't buy at $10 million.
However, the price is very low because it is located in the restricted town. And outsiders still need a permit to access the town.
I don't have a permit for today. This is part of Hong Kong, but I can't enter it. It's Hong Kong people.
This academic, Yun Chi, has been doing research on Sha Tau Kok Frontier Closed Area for 17 years. Yun thinks the restricted town should be fully opened up to the public.
And illegal immigration is not a problem anymore. Maybe the smuggling may not be happen in this area. The original reason for setting up of the coast area is already non-existent.
Once that is relaxed, I'm quite sure business will move in. People will move in and out freely, and then it could be very lively.
But Lam says the Sha Tau Kok closed area is the perfect place to be the hub for tourism in Double Haven.
We need land-based support, and we need the labor, local characteristics and all these lots. Which the strongest hold is certainly at the Sha Tau Kok town at the moment.
We asked the Development Bureau about the future plans for the closed town. It replied the government will explore with the Shenzhen municipal government the feasibility of developing a cultural tourism zone in Sha Tau Kok side, bringing in new economic activities that would bring convenience to and create business opportunities for residents. That's our show for this week. Join us on Pearl Magazine, same time next week. Bye for now.